Let's look at the type of dividends that a company can issue through this pack of slides. Why are dividends given? We have discussed it earlier also. This is a re-emphasis to increase the faith of retail investors in the company, because the investors have invested money in the company. They want something in return, and that return is given to them in the form of dividends to send a signal to the investors that the company is doing good, the company is optimistic about its future earnings, and they would keep getting such dividends even in the due course. What are the types of dividends? Now, the various types of dividends described here are cash dividends, property dividends, stock dividends, scrip dividends, and liquidating dividends. We will look into each of these in brief. Cash dividends is the simplest to understand, where the company gives out dividend in the form of cash or money deposited in the shareholders' account. That's cash dividend. Property dividend is payment with asset than cash when assets are no longer necessary for operations of a business. Stock dividends are if any company issues additional shares to the common shareholders without any consideration. Please see, it is the issuance of additional shares without any consideration, which means the shareholders are not paying any extra money for those shares, because after all, those shares are being given as dividends, and dividends are in a way rewards. So the shareholder should ideally not pay anything for those rewards. Scrip dividends: when a company doesn't have enough funds to pay dividend, it may choose to pay dividend in the form of promissory note. Now, promissory note is a negotiable instrument which promises to pay to the shareholders at a future date. This creates a notes payable. And liquidating dividends are when the company is winding up. Okay, and whatever is left from there, the company gives dividends. That is the liquidating dividends. That's all. That's in brief, but that will give you a fair idea about the type of dividends. Thank you. This pack of slides is about the provisions under Companies Act related to dividends. Well, the pack is self-explanatory by itself. I have tried to put in the provisions in brief about dividends. As I said, it is self-explanatory because everything has been given in proper statements, but I would still like to touch upon some major points here. Now, let's look at the source of dividend. The dividend should be declared or paid out of the company's current year profits after providing for depreciation. Okay, profits of the previous year or both. Okay, or from the money provided by the central government or the state government for the payment of dividends. That's what comes under source of dividend. Now, a company may, before the declaration of any dividend, transfer such percentage of its profits for that financial year as it may consider appropriate to the reserves of the company. So without transferring any money to the reserves, the company cannot declare dividends. So the fact that the company will pay out everything in dividends is not possible by virtue of this regulation. Declaration of dividends out of reserves is not allowed. In the event of inadequacy or absence of profits, the company may declare dividends out of free reserves, provided they fulfill the following conditions. The rate of dividend declared shall not exceed the average of the rates at which it was declared in the past 3 years, and this will possibly not apply to a company which has not declared any dividend and they are doing it for the first time. Now, legal provisions regarding dividend. Now, this slide says the total amount to be drawn from such accumulated profits should not exceed 1/10 of the sum of its paid up share capital and free reserves as per their statement of accounts. The balance of reserves after withdrawal shall not fall below 15% of its paid up share capital, and no company shall declare dividend unless carried over previous losses and depreciation are not settled. Recommendation of the board: the directors have the power to recommend the dividend. The members of the annual general meeting cannot increase the rate of dividend. They can either approve the same rate or they can lower it. So declaration of final dividend at the annual general meeting, it is basically dividend is declared during the annual general meeting of a company. The company which could not declare dividend at the AGM may declare the same at the subsequent general meeting. Where a company has declared a dividend at the annual general meeting, it cannot declare the final dividend again at the extraordinary general meeting. So it's an annual dividend which can be declared only once a year. Now, in case the dividend declared must be deposited. Okay, so after the dividend has been declared, it should be deposited within a bank account within 5 days of its declaration, and the money should be exclusively used for paying dividends. Dividends should be paid only in cash, except when adjusted towards paying up unpaid amount of shares. Now, dividend to be paid only to the registered shareholders and beneficial owners. Then a dividend once declared should be paid within 30 days from the date of declaration. And in case the company fails to do that, uh, every director of the company who is knowingly a party to the default shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend for 2 years and with a minimum fine of 1,000 rupees for every day during such default. Transfer of unclaimed dividend. Uh, According to section 124(1), where after the declaration of the dividend, it has not been paid or claimed within 30 days from the date of declaration to any shareholder, the company shall, within 7 days from the date of expiry of the said period of 30 days, transfer the amount of dividend which remains unpaid or unclaimed to a special account, which is called as the unpaid dividend account. For this purpose, the company has to open unpaid dividend account in any scheduled bank. In case of the delay, the company would have to pay interest at 12% per annum. Now, even after that, any money transferred to the unpaid dividend account, if it is not claimed within 7 years from the date of transfer, will go to the Investment, Education and Protection Fund. If the company fails to comply with any of these requirements, the company is punishable with a minimum fine of rupees 5 lakhs, which may even extend to rupees 25 lakhs, and every officer of the company who's in default shall be punishable with a minimum fine of rupees of a lakh, which may extend to 25 lakhs. That was in brief about the legal provisions. I think that should be enough for you. Thank you. Let me introduce the concept of working capital management to you, or rather, working capital to you, a very important component of a business. Uh, okay, working capital management. What is working capital? Any firm from time to time employs its short term assets as well as short term financing sources to carry out its day to day business. The management of these short term assets is called as working capital management. So, working capital is primarily the short term assets of a business which are used for day to day operations of the business. It is a quintessential part of financial management. It can also be compared with long term decision making process. See, an adept and a prudent management of working capital contributes a lot to the growth of the company. So at any point in time, the significance of working capital cannot be ignored. Working capital is formally arrived at by subtracting the current liabilities from current assets. It is also represented by a firm's net investment in current assets. It frequently changes its form and it's sometimes called as circulating capital. So, well, that is it about its introduction. We will do more about working capital in the upcoming slides. Thank you.